Hey guys, and welcome to the Working Money channel. It looks like it happened, guys. Bitcoin did just breach that former lower high, forming a new higher high here on the chart. As you guys can see, we've been talking about this level for the last little while. That former high here, we just needed to pierce through 65,000. It was roughly 65,100. And now Bitcoin has actually pierced through that with conviction. It happened yesterday, and we are actually staying above, at least as of the time of this recording, we are staying above that level. So guys, it's looking very, very positive for Bitcoin. We did see a bullish surge for the king crypto yesterday. Right now, Bitcoin's trading for 65,500 per coin. So is this just what we needed, guys? Are we going to continue moving higher? Well, I sure hope so. As you guys can see, we were getting an inclination even before Bitcoin did breach this high. Because as you know, over the last few months, we had been seeing lower lows, even this wick down back in early August. We did see that new low going below $50,000 per coin. Bitcoin, of course, did rebound up since then. But here, guys, it was here on September the 6th, 2024. Bitcoin did start making higher lows. And so now it's looking like the trend is reversing. First higher low. Now we're seeing the first higher high. So hopefully this trend continues to the upside. As you can see, yesterday we were at 48 for the Fear and Greed Index, and that has moved up significantly, 54. So no longer is it this, a point here, a point there. That is a significant jump, 6 points to the upside. In neutral territory still, but we are going to be getting closer in that green zone. Market cap is up $2.3 trillion, so that is up 1.76%. 24-hour volume is up too, guys, 36.56% in the last 24 hours. Bitcoin dominance at 56.3%. And the market is green today in the last 24 hours. Bitcoin saw a jump of 1.72%. Ethereum up only 0.5%. BNB coins up 1.17%. Solana's up 2.12%. Dogecoin, guys, up 7.06%. Unfortunately, XRP is down technically within the last 24 hours, although XRP has been seeing some significant gains over the last few days. Let me bring up the XRP chart here. It was pretty much this period here, mid-September. So over the last couple of weeks, XRP did go from about 52 cents. It did even see a high on September the 21st, over 60 cents at 61.2, and now it's hovering somewhere in and around 0.587, 0.588, 0.589. Well, anyway, here we are, guys. It's going to be an exciting road ahead. Like analysts have been suggesting, myself included, quarter four. Historically, we have seen bullish quarter fours for cryptocurrency. So even if you don't want to look at the analysts and you just want to take a look at the history of the crypto space, you'll be able to see bullish quarter fours. October is generally dubbed Uptober, as somebody did point out over there on the X platform. I remember that from last cycle. Rect Capital here also noticing this. It is 160 days after the Bitcoin halving in 2020. Bitcoin broke out about 163 days after the halving. If history repeats exactly, Bitcoin could break out over the next 3 days. So that is an interesting observation here. 161 days or 160 days in 2020. And we are at that mark now, roughly, give or take a few days now. I mean, we can't just say this is when, to the date. We can't just say this is exactly the day that it's going to break out. But, it has been, it had felt like a lot longer than I think it realistically was, just because we did hit this all-time high before the halving. But if you actually take that measurement from the halving, we're seeing those trends relatively similar to what we saw during the last halving. So I'm glad that Rect Capital brought this up, because it has been feeling, like it's been taking a lot longer than historically it actually has in the past, even though that's not the case. It's just an illusion, guys. It's because we saw that all-time high being breached before the halving, and generally that happens after the halving. So wanted to thank Rect Capital just for pointing that out. Members of the XRP community have also been noticing, strange things like this coming from Linked to talking about XRP price. What would you do if XRP went to the moon? And look at these price, I don't want to say price predictions, but maybe we could call these price possibilities. If it went up to $1,000 per coin, what would you guys do? XRP Daily also commenting and noticing something interesting here. Uphold always talked about XRP at $1,000 as well. What is it about that $1,000 mark that's getting these exchange, and I think BITRUE does it too, that's getting these exchanges and companies to just kind of put it out there, out to the public. I mean, a $1,000 XRP would make me personally very, very wealthy. I'm sure it would do the same for you guys. Don't be caught with your pants down, guys. Make sure you have a plan. LOL. Just like the good old days. This is coming from Anders here. Bitcoin news just in: Coinbase is down as Bitcoin pumps. Time and time again, it's like clockwork. It's like they've never fixed their systems, even though, there's warning signs every single time. These high volume events denote that there's going to be a lot of cryptocurrency trading. I mean, all you really have to do is go to the coin market cap here and just look at the 24-hour volume. When that exceeds a certain number, I'm sure Coinbase should realize to themselves, okay, we've got to make sure that we are ready for this. But alas, they have not fixed the problem. We are having connection issues. I don't know if they are back online now. But guys, I think this is another good opportunity to mention to you guys to play it safe. Make sure you have on-ramps and off-ramps available to you. Now, over there at patreon.com/workingmoneychannel, I could talk a little bit more about this today at 1:30 Eastern Standard Time. I'm going to be doing a live Q&A session for all the Patreon subscribers. If you guys want to subscribe, it is only $5 a month. I've kept it affordable on purpose because I want all of us to be on the right side of the trade. We're going to be trading against the FOMOers. When the liquidity comes in the market, that's when we're cashing out. Patreon.com/workingmoneychannel. This is one of those big things that I'm stressing. Be prepared. Make sure you have options available to you because you don't want this kind of thing to happen to you, right? It's funny, 604 XRP saying, you'd think after 7 years, Coinbase would have figured out how to scale unless it's on purpose. I had the same thought. And even myself, by the way, Anders said I had the same thought. And me, myself, Working Money Channel, I think the exact same thing. I think they're probably doing this on purpose, almost like a choke point 2.0A, making it so that us plebes have less of a chance to cash out of our cryptocurrency when we want. Anyway, wanted to thank Anders for bringing that up. Dr. Archer Kerjakalov here posting this. Okay, I've seen people asking whether RLUSD on XPMarkets is legitimate. Yes, it is the real one, and you can verify it by checking the user address. So yesterday I mentioned that the RLUSD has already now been listed on Ledger Live. Well, guys, it's also listed on XPMarkets. He also does say here you can also place an order on the DEX if you wish. Currently, there's no RLUSD in circulation, but if you check the top holders, you'll see that only one wallet is holding it. Please be patient until the official launch. XPMarket has implemented additional security measures to ensure no fake RLUSD tokens can be issued, enhancing security for our users. So RLUSD, guys, making the rounds. And as you guys can see, I've just clicked on the link here from xpmarket.com. No RLUSD here yet, but it is now listed as one of those currencies. So we're going to be seeing that utility coming very soon, I do believe, for this brand new Ripple stablecoin. All this while Gary Gensler has been making the rounds from Good Morning Crypto here. Gary Gensler confirms Bitcoin is not a security. Well, I think that was pretty clear. I don't know why he has to keep reiterating this.
Here to stay and something that could be useful.
This is something I said to students 4 and 5 years ago.
I know, but you didn't say it to once you were the SEC chairman.
No. That this field will not long persist without investor protection or consumer protection.
Number
two, many of these projects, without prejudging anyone, are tapping into the public's interest to raise money. That's the classic securities sort of protections that you put in place. You can decide to go long or short these projects, but you need the disclosures. And as it relates to Bitcoin, my predecessor and I have said that's not a security. You now have a way that you can actually express that view, buy into that through exchange-traded products, traded on NASDAQ, traded on New York Stock Exchange and the like.
So his predecessor and himself alike, they both said it is not a security. Well, at least we've got that clear. SEC Chair Gary Gensler, though, is doing something else that's kind of sneaky. This one courtesy of Michael Branch. He's continuing to pursue changes to the definition of a cryptocurrency exchange. And guys, this goes back to my point here that I was talking about with regards to Coinbase and being prepared. If the definition of a cryptocurrency exchange changes, we have to be flexible in knowing what our options are to off-ramp. Again, another good reason to be prepared. One of the measures the SEC has taken to buttress the Treasury market was a change to the definition of a dealer that was meant to clarify the role of market participants such as principal trading firms, which might use algorithmic and high-frequency trading strategies. The changes proposed in 2022 were criticized at the time by pro-crypto politicians for the spillover effect, they would have on digital asset trading. Nonetheless, they were adopted in February. So it's getting sticky, guys. And, we want to make sure we are, I can't stress it enough, because in a bull run, you have one chance. As our old pal says, don't mess this up, right? We don't want to mess this up. So we have to be ready. We have to be ready to jump, because this is, like I keep reiterating, like no other bull run we have experienced as of yet. We're going through the teething pains of the cryptocurrency regulations, so it's going to look different this time around. It's funny, Gary Gensler also commented on Mark Cuban's statement the other day that he wants his job.
You have come under a lot of criticism recently, which you know about. Almost on both sides, and I'm curious where you think your own job is and lives right now after this administration. I say that because you've got Trump on one side saying that if he wins, he's going to fire you, and you haven't gotten a ringing endorsement yet from the vice president, and we're going to have Mark Cuban on later. He'd like to take your job, and I'm just curious, as a human, how you think about all of this.
Well, I feel honored to be in this job, and if Mr. Cuban wants the job, it's because it's one of the best jobs in Washington. It's overseeing the $120 trillion capital markets. It's looking out for investors and capital formation on both sides. Now, what have we been trying to do? We've been trying to make the middle, the market, less costly, which is called more efficient, and less risky, which is called more resilient. And I'm really proud of what we've been able to do in the equity markets and trying to like a simple thing like saying that you can get your cash one day after you sell your stock instead of 2 days later. That's called shortening the settlement cycle.
Right.
Or that which we're talking about today, the U.S. Treasury market, to try to instill greater competition in that market by promoting what's called all-to-all trading. I mean,
right.
These are the things that are really,
It's
just more lip service, but I got to give him credit. He did kind of deflect that Mark Cuban statement pretty well. But the thing is, Gary Gensler is clearly saying there are chalk lines, and he's staying within those lines. He really does not want to veer outside of them. This one courtesy of Tony Edwards from the Thinking Crypto podcast. Listen to this.
Former President Trump is talking about whether we should have effectively a Bitcoin reserve fund, a sovereign Bitcoin fund. Would you be in favor of something like that?
Again, I'm just...
Take the policy out of it. Take the politics out of it. I'm just asking, if someone in Congress came to you and said, hey, Gary, we're thinking of creating a sovereign wealth fund in Bitcoin, would you say that's a good idea? That's a bad idea?
I would say I'm going to stick to the role I'm in. It's a great role overseeing as chair of an agency.
But you're a very smart guy who knows a lot about this space. You've taught about this space. You should. I imagine you have a view. Is it that you don't feel like you can share the view, or it's that you don't have a? I don't believe you don't have a view.
No, I have a view. I have a view.
And you're saying it's the role. Given your role, you think you're not supposed to say.
I think, given my role, and also we're in election season, so I just think for the listening public, I will stick to my chalk lines, and my chalk lines are securities markets, and Chairman Powell and others at the Federal Reserve could speak to that. But yes, I do have a view on it.
Just unbelievable. They want to really keep a tight lip there over at the SEC when it comes to the crypto space. But anyway, got a lot of Gary Gensler news today. I wanted to thank Michael Branch, of course, Squawk Box, Tony Edward. And so as we're getting more updates here, guys, this one courtesy of another one from Michael, Fox journalist, does say the SEC will likely appeal the Ripple ruling. So Eleanor Turret, she just recently got, I think it was from, she's not letting us in on her source, but she says this is a source from a former SEC lawyer who recently left the commission. So who is this mysterious lawyer? Judge Torres issued the programmatic sales ruling in July 2023, declaring that the XRP transactions were not investment contracts. Although the SEC had attempted to file an immediate appeal to overturn the decision, the judge ordered that they wait until all issues of the lawsuit were resolved. And now, guys, Eleanor Turret has it on good authority that the SEC is going to appeal. Moon Lambo here originally tweeting out the Eleanor Turret tweet. A former SEC lawyer who just recently left the agency tells me the SEC will probably appeal Judge Torres' 2023 ruling concerning the XRP programmatic sales in the Ripple case, partly because everyone over there at the SEC truly believes that the decision is wrong and that it's not good law and should be appealed. So again, the source, we do not know who he or she is. She goes on to say going to do a deeper dive into the SEC's options and what we could see as we near the October 7th appeal deadline. Moon Lambo did comment on this. XRP, former SEC lawyer who recently left the agency, said that they will probably appeal. He says, note here, this will not change XRP legal status, and the SEC itself declared they don't dispute the Torres call that XRP itself is not a security. Now, this is interesting because we were all thinking that too, right? This is not going to change the XRP is not a security decision, is it? Jeremy Hogan says, of course they think the opinion is wrong. They were on the losing side. What the SEC should be thinking of right now is whether an appeal furthers its mandate of investor protection and capital formation. Why isn't that top of mind? More evidence the SEC has lost the plot. Vet here saying, concerning that everyone over there truly believes the decision is wrong. I'm betting the opposite, says Bull Run Wonka here. Sounds like the guy wants the price down for a little longer and pushing an agenda. On a multiple choice test, you should never select the answer in terms of always, never, or everyone. Those answers are incorrect choices 99.9% of the time. It was pretty obvious the SEC will appeal, says welcome, now leave. They will wait till the last minute to appeal and then hope that the next administration stays the same and continue their horrible attempt at controlling crypto innovation in the United States. This is the sentiment now in the space. I guess we still do have to wait about a week and a half. Wendy O here, a little concerned if the SEC appeals Judge Torres' ruling that XRP is a security on the secondary market, the crypto industry future could seriously be messed. And I don't know if Wendy completely understands. Fred Rispoli here did mention, Wendy, it's nuanced, but the SEC lost on programmatic sales, not secondary sales. They are similar concepts, but not identical. Secondary sales were explicitly excluded from the Judge Torres analysis, and he gives the reference page there. Moon Lambo saying the SEC filed a document to Torres a year ago stating they do not dispute that XRP is not a security and will not appeal that decision. So guys, the XRP not being a security, that is safe. This is not going to it's not going to seriously F the industry, as Wendy O puts it here. This is why, if you pay attention, if you've been in the XRP community for a long time, you already know this. But I did think that this is probably a good time just to reiterate some of these points. Ripple Van Winkle here saying, they are not. The SEC already said they accept the ruling on that. Cypress Domenicor saying, LOL, the rest of the world doesn't care about the SEC. They will continue to set proper rules and regulations for crypto and digital assets, and America will fall behind, which won't happen. The rest of the world will just innovate without the SEC. And this wouldn't be an SEC post without some comments from John Deaton, as someone who knows the Ripple case very well, considering I'm an active litigant for about 2.5 years. He's going to give his opinion. In the Ripple case, Judge Torres did not apply all 3 factors of the Howey test. Some people describe the Howey as 4 factors, but the third has 2 prongs. I don't believe an appellate court will rule Judge Torres was in error in applying the third prong. Judge Torres made her ruling very fact-specific. The SEC did not rely on any expert testimony relating to XRP holders. It was always excluded anyway. But the judge did rely, however, on the XRP holders' affidavits I submitted. An appellate court could say, just as Judge Torres acknowledged, there could be a scenario where secondary sales could qualify as investment contracts because the facts meet the Howey factors, but in the Ripple XRP case, the facts presented just don't satisfy it. Thus, the case gets affirmed on appeal, but it doesn't prevent the SEC from arguing secondary sales constitute investment contracts in other cases. Finally, Judge Torres ruled secondary sales on exchanges did not satisfy the third prong of Howey, and since all Howey factors must be satisfied, there is no need for her to apply the second prong, or common enterprise. The common enterprise factor was, in my opinion, the weakest part of the SEC's case against Ripple. Thus, even if the Second Circuit ruled Judge Torres erred applying the third prong, the SEC doesn't win the case. The case would go back to Judge Torres for her to apply the common enterprise prong, and she would likely rule the SEC didn't establish a common enterprise. If that happened, the SEC would lose again and then have to appeal all over. It makes no sense to appeal this ruling. If Judge Torres did rule against Ripple, Ripple could then appeal. It makes no sense and would be a total waste of taxpayer money to appeal this decision. But John, do you really think they care about taxpayer money at this point? It would just be a vicious circle, ridiculous, even Green Eggs and Sam saying, John, you have no idea how much I love the ending. So there you have it, John Deaton explaining what it could turn out like. Let's hope it doesn't go on for much longer. That's just my opinion, but I want to hear what you guys think. Please subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Like the video if you like the content I'm providing. I always love hearing your comments. See you in the next one, guys.